Hello, happy Jubilee Bank Holiday. This is the second video for Sam Ryder's Spaceman. I'm going to be tackling it from the musical storyteller angle. So that's looking at how the music illustrates and supports the lyrical content that we are hearing, the story that's being told in the lyrics. Let's start with the introduction. This song is in B major. It was the UK entry for the Eurovision Song Contest. And here's the introduction. That's sounding to me quite classical music influenced. It sounds like it's full of wonder, and it sounds like something from a music box. It's sounding interesting, possibly upbeat. And the first verse we have, for the first two lines, we have, "If I was an astronaut, I'd be floating in mid-air, and a broken heart would just belong to someone else down there." Now that's not sounding very happy-go-lucky so far. We'll have to see how the story progresses. So if you notice, we have great repetition of four chords: E major, B major, D sharp major, G sharp minor. So it ends on a minor. And the singer chooses to use his upper register. He's imagining that he's up in space. That's why he's made that choice. If I was an astronaut, I'd be floating in mid-air, and a broken heart would just belong to someone else down there. It ends on a minor, and that's reflecting the seriousness, the sadness of the message. So let me ask you a question. Major and minor. How does this sound to you? That's major. Does that sound bright? How does this sound to you? That's minor for the same chord. How does that sound? Serious? Sad? Reflective? So we're ending on minor chords, and that's reflecting the sadness of the mood. And it's interesting, the second verse has a line, "I'd circle round the world and keep on coming back to you." That's interesting because in the music we are getting a lot of circular movement. We are getting over and over again. We keep coming back to. So that's a circular movement. We come back to where we started, which is the E major chord. So the lyrics are telling us what the music is doing. The music and the lyrics are working together to tell the story. And the verses end with a sad line, like, "But I'm only human and I'm crashing down to earth." And it's interesting because we often end the verses with something sounding like a gospel or bluesy kind of chords. "But I'm only human and I'm crashing down." There's the minor for sadness. "To earth." I'm going to jump to the third verse just to cover the verses. In the third verse, we get for the first time mention of otherness. And because of that, I decided to change up the circular movement by adding something new, a chord that we've not heard before. And it's a chord that is quite serious sounding because the message is serious. It's, "My navigation systems would search for other life, but I'd be up here thinking about what I left behind, because I'm only human with the real world on my mind. If I was an astronaut, I'd split 2 satellites. My navigation systems would search for other life. But I'd be up here thinking about what I left behind, 'cause I'm only human with the real world on my mind. And let's go to the chorus. But one thing before we do, why is, if this is a love song, because we've seen mention of a heartache here, heartbreak, why would the narrator be imagining being up in space? Well, the verse sets that up. We don't know why until we get to the chorus. And choruses often resolve things posed in the verse, and the music resolves it as well. So let's see what the chorus says. The first thing we notice is we go up. We are told, I'm up in space. And so for that, I reflected that in the left hand, the bass. I moved from B to D sharp. That's a jump upwards. And the singer chose to use his upper register to indicate travelling up. I'm up in space. And the singer drags down his voice on man. And that's interesting to me, because to me that is a great way he has of depicting a sigh. You know, if when we sigh, we breathe in, we gather the breath, and then we release slowly. And it's like that. It's like a musical representation of that. And it's just a great way of reflecting the sadness, the sad mood. And that is underlined by a choice of a minor chord, to coupling it with a minor chord, minor C sharp. Wonderful. And then the answer to that question comes eventually. Why does the narrator imagine he's in space if this is a love song? Well, he mentions that he's been down some black holes. They're obstacles, right? He's been around the block. And black holes are a phenomenon that occur when stars die. And they are when gravity is so tight that light can't escape. And that's a great symbol for the fact that this narrator feels trapped. His troubles make him feel trapped. He doesn't feel like he can resolve this. He doesn't see a way out. He wants to escape, and so he imagines himself into space. The chorus gives us the answer. And the chorus ends with the sad line, and I want to go home. There's sadness. There's a great sense of sadness there. And again, an injection of gospel or bluesy work there. And I wanna go home. Let's go to the bridge. The bridge is like a ray of light, but first it starts off with getting us out of that circular movement we've been in constantly. Now we're moving down, and the lyrics are telling us we're moving down. Gravity keeps pulling me down, and we go down in the bass, down, down, down. Gravity keeps pulling us down. And I pulled it up. I added a pull up there to show resistance, because actually the narrator is resisting this. He's fighting this negativity. As long as you're on the ground, I'll stick around. I'll stick around. We come back to the original chord. The chord we keep coming back to E major, and I pull up to indicate a resistance. I'll stick around. Consistency. You stay on this note. Consistency. We're sticking around. And then it goes to the chorus again, so you know what happens there. And some meanings I discovered as I was working on this is this could be a love song. We can interpret this song as a love song. There's heartache, there's loneliness, there's isolation, there's feeling trapped and wanting to escape. This is also coming out of a pandemic, and we've experienced those feelings ourselves, haven't we? There's a universality going on here. The lyrics are poetic, and we can interpret them in more than one way. So it's written in our times during a pandemic. We've experienced isolation, loneliness, feeling trapped, feeling isolated, wanting to move on and being stuck. And we've become more conscious of prejudice, Black Lives Matter, for example, and otherness, and resisting negative influences in our lives. So there's depth, there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of different ways of interpreting this. It's a great addition to the space pop library. And Sam's voice also has a bit of gospel, a bit of blues in it. So it's a welcome addition in my view. I hope I've helped you to enjoy this new song, and you've got some tips as to what you can add to your music. Listen out for circular movement. It's a great way of having a quick win to show you that you've learned a lot of a song. There's a lot of repetition in music, and oftentimes there's just a series of chords repeated over and over again. So look out for that. And look out for my poll that I did a few days ago. Vote. I'll be looking at, in another video for this song, I'll be looking at the musical influences that possibly Sam Ryder, Amy Wadge and Max Wolfgang, the writers of this song, possibly were influenced by when they wrote this song. So check that out too, possibly on Saturday. Until next time, bye for now.